everyone. Here I am with another Freedom to Feel conversation with Bernhard Tewes. And I will, as always, introduce him briefly and then ask the magic question. So, Bernhard is a licensed hypnotherapist, practice owner, and a keynote speaker on hypnosis from Berlin. And he's the founder of, I have the name here, hypnobox.com. So that's important to mention. So now, in your own words, who is Bernhard?
Uh, Bernhard is an explorer. He's an explorer of the subconscious and mainly his own subconscious, actually, and still exploring and still finding out new things. And that's actually very fantastic. Yeah.
Ah,
So
yeah.
I really love my work because I can show people about the power of the subconscious and how to make your subconscious an ally. Oh, and that's what I found out was a game changer for me. When I found out, hey, you need to become friend with your subconscious. So conscious mind and subconscious are actually working together and not drifting in different directions as it does in many cases.
Yeah.
For me, for example, I was a heavy smoker 10 years ago, and I got a chronic infection in the stomach, and I couldn't brush my teeth anymore without puking. Yeah,
Right.
so and I tried so many things, so stop smoking, and each time I had a really stressful situation, I started smoking again, and I thought, hey, what's wrong with me? Why can't I stop smoking?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then a hypnotherapist moved into my house, and my life changed completely. We started
Wow.
talking about hypnosis, what it is, what it's not, that it has nothing to do with sleep, that you're still aware of everything, that you're in control, and so on. It was so interesting for me that I say, hey, let's go for that. And yeah, it was just one session, and I never had, yeah, the need to smoke again. It was like, yeah,
Wow.
my entry to the hypnotic world. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yes, I have heard many stories, many cases of hypnosis being highly effective. Um, what is, for those who don't know, don't understand, how does the subconscious work, Bernhard? I would love to hear a bit more about the behind the scenes of the subconscious.
Yeah, we can make it quite easy. We can say everything that's not conscious is subconscious.
Yeah,
Everything
yeah,
everything that is not processed at the moment in your in your conscious mind has somewhere a subconscious root. So that can be
right,
all emotions that are processed, all the long-term memories that are there, everything what has to be do with behaviors. Everything is processed in the subconscious, is stored there, and there are the connections. Yeah, that's what we
right.
learned. There are the beliefs also. So
Mm,
what we are actually is in our subconscious. So we're just
mm.
a tiny part of that
Yeah,
is conscious. Yeah, when you think that a
yeah,
thought needs like at least half a second to become conscious. So there
right.
are so many thoughts behind that that are not conscious, that we're not aware of, and are actually processing the whole time. And we don't know that. We're making decisions the whole time without knowing that, actually, or not being
Ah,
aware of that.
right.
So you can say that only 2 to 5% of your daily decisions are made consciously, and the rest completely subconscious. So
Wow.
who's the boss actually. and
Yes.
and
Yeah.
and if you understand that, it makes sense. That's why I'm reacting like that. That's why I have this habit. That's why I can change that. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's all stored in the subconscious, and you try so many times to solve it consciously, and
Right.
that's often the wrong direction. Like, okay, I try to solve
Yeah.
a subconscious problem consciously. Um, in the end, every therapy is working on that, how it gets into the subconscious. So hypnotherapy works like that, that it gets directly in access to the subconscious, to that emotion in a resourceful state of trance that is that is been introduced by hypnosis. Yeah.
Right. Wow. So most of our actions, they're actually unconscious, and some say automatic. So that makes sense too. This automatically running. I guess the question that comes to mind is, how do we know when we need help in a sense of accessing the subconscious? When does it become clear to some of us?
Well, if there's a suffering at some point, yeah, and you just feel,
Right.
I can't solve this with the tools I have,
Yeah.
I can't solve it. I mean, I work with people who had psychoanalysis for 4 years. They know everything. They know
Yeah.
everything about their problems,
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
analyzed their whole childhood. But on the emotional level, there has been no change. On the behavioral level, there has been no change. Yeah.
Right.
So that's how we
Right.
can bring it in, through hypnosis, bypassing the so-called critical factor. If we get to the point, how does it work
Mm,
actually? How does
right.
it work? And in hypnosis, so your subconscious is protected by a sort of filter that is protecting your subconscious from changing. And
Right.
in the trance state, this filter, the bouncer of your subconscious, can step aside, so new ideas of behavior, of thinking, can sink in. So your subconscious is more receptive in this so-called theta state from the brainwaves. Yeah?
Right. So understanding is not enough. Understanding how our issues are manifesting. Right.
Sometimes, not always. Sometimes, not always. Yeah,
Right.
being aware of where things come from, make make things better, can make things
Yeah.
better, because you're becoming more aware and aware and aware, for
Right.
sure.
Right.
Um, but not always. No, and it can take much longer. And that is the point.
Yeah.
If you get the information right to the subconscious,
Mm,
where the behavior are and everything are stored,
yeah.
then the change can happen much faster. Yeah.
Right. When are these subconscious patterns, when are they formed? Would you say childhood or throughout life? They always.
Yeah, childhood, of course, most of them, most of our patterns, most of our beliefs, they are until the year of 6, there's
Right.
almost 90% done, and
Yeah.
everything after, and, there's so much already so
Ah.
many beliefs and everything. So after that, it's a hard work.
Yes, tell me
And
about
I say,
it.
yeah,
Yes.
sometimes can be hard. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
say, parents are our best and worst hypnotists in our life.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because
Wow.
almost until the age of 16, this filter is
Yeah.
not completely there. So everything that comes from our parents or even teachers can come in unfiltered, and
Right.
so that's why we are the childhood
Wow.
is has such a massive effect on us, early childhood especially.
Wow. So this is something to be aware of. I mean, that it seems like most of us are, but it's not easy to practice this understanding that children are being programmed. They are absorbing everything. So we need to be extra careful per se, but more aware of the
Yeah,
inputs, right,
yeah.
Bernhard?
Definitely. So also what children are consuming. I
Yeah,
remember to watch a
right,
horror movie
right.
when I shouldn't watch it.
Yeah.
I was very young. I couldn't sleep
Yeah,
for 3 weeks.
yeah.
Insane, because
That's funny.
I
Yeah.
yeah, because I couldn't make a difference. Is this real or not? It just goes
Yeah,
directly into the subconscious, and it's completely real for a child. Yeah. So,
yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
we have to be, of course, on the one hand,
Hmm.
careful and how we talk, but this is like the challenge for sure. Yeah.
Right, for parents. And is hypnotherapy for everyone? Would you recommend it to everyone? Or there are some people who should not engage with hypnotherapy?
Well, if there are like cases of schizophrenia, for example, or actual psychosis, this is not
Yeah,
helpful in that case, for
yeah,
sure not. No,
yeah.
and but most of really most of the diseases we have or issues we have can be done or can be helpful with hypnosis. Of course, it's a tool. It's
Right.
not. It can work.
Mhm.
It cannot work. You know. But
Right.
I think
Right.
the chance that you can solve your issues with hypnotherapy
Mm.
is very is more highly than with any other therapy form because
Right.
it's more directly more yeah more on a level where the resources are there that are needed. You know, that's what a hypnotherapist does, looking for the resources and
Yeah.
bring them where they are needed. That's the
Mhm.
job of
Right.
a hypnotherapist. Yeah, there's nothing coming from the outside. No, we activate resources and bring them in. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I have, as I said before we recorded this, I have had many interviews and I was exposed to the to hypnotherapy and how it works in people who have done it and really, really worked for them.
Mm.
Um, I guess what came to me to mind is two things. One is meditation. Does it have similar effect as meditation, a meditation session? Or how, what is the difference? What would be the difference, Bernhard?
Yeah, yeah, this is a good question. So I always say meditation is more for the quantity of thoughts and
Ah.
hypnosis for the quality of thoughts. You
Yes,
know,
that makes sense.
to make it simple, because
Yeah,
when we talk, let's talk about, for example, mindfulness. You know, you put your awareness on one point and always come back with your awareness to that. You know? And
right,
the goal behind that is that you can easier deal with everything in your daily life,
right.
that you are more present, you know,
Yeah,
and so everything that's happening around you, even if it's more stressful, you can be more present and more
yeah,
in the moment. You know,
yeah,
it's very important, and I'm working also for me
yeah,
with meditate. I'm also meditating, yeah, but I'm
right.
also doing hypnosis. So
Yeah,
hypnosis is much more helpful if you want to work on a certain topic. Yeah,
yeah.
if you have a
Um,
certain issue,
yeah,
then we have a much deeper relaxation state in hypnosis. So let's say in meditation, you're more in the alpha brain waves,
yeah.
and in hypnosis, you go into theta
Um,
deeper. And in this
right.
theta state, the subconscious is more receptive for new ideas of behavior and thinking. That's why, um, for example, hypnosis really takes time in the beginning, in the induction, to bring the people into that state. That is
Right.
important, you know. And in meditation, you're more focused, more aware of the things. That's a different state, actually, than hypnosis, yeah, which goes deeper,
Okay.
but it's similar, yeah. And many people go in meditations in very deep trance states,
Yeah,
which are like
yeah,
yeah. So many people who like open their eyes after therapy and say, ah, I know this
yeah,
state from very deep from very
yeah,
deep meditation. So I say,
yeah,
yeah, that's correct. So yeah, they are like very close to each other. Yeah, but have different goals. Just give different
yes.
goals. Mhm,
Right, I
mhm.
see that. That it's with hypnotherapy is more specific. You want to
Yes,
really
exactly.
kind of tackle a specific issue. It sounds wonderful to me. I actually want to do that at some point because I have heard so much that it really resonated every time I talk to somebody like yourself, who is a hypnotherapist. There's something about it that keeps telling me, this really works, but I have never done it myself, and I'm very curious about it because
Yeah,
there's something about it. I don't know what it is.
yeah, you can. So I had the same thing in the past when I experienced hypnosis, and I said, "Hey, I want to do it for myself."
Yeah,
So I read about self-hypnosis, and
right.
self-hypnosis at that point, like 10 years ago, wasn't that popular. There was some things on YouTube and everything, but that was not what I liked. So I created
Right.
Hypnobox, a self-hypnosis app where you can like customize your own self-hypnosis sessions. You have a lot of different inductions, over 600 audio elements, so you can put it all together. So you can actually
Right.
try that. Of course, a one-to-one session is normally more effective, but
Uh,
you can work on or more deeper, of course, you
right.
know. But if you work with self-hypnosis on a regular basis, it has a like of course it does something with your brain. Of course it does something, you know. You have enough studies that meditation is actually changing the brain, and
Yes.
so of
Yes.
course, and so does if you work with hypnosis and with suggestions that you like, and if these suggestions and if these words, these topics are up to your wish and will, of course they can easier sink in. Yeah. Yes.
I will try, Bernhard. I'll take the invitation. I went on your website. I looked at it, and yeah, that kind of I'm very intuitive, so I'm guided to do things that I'm supposed to do for whatever reason. So there's something about hypnosis, and now that I have the opportunity to self hypnosis, so I will definitely try and let you know. I'll let you know how it goes. Should I try for how many days? Like 5 days?
Well, if you start with the app with Hypnobox, you can test it just for free for 7 days. But the more often you do that, the
Yeah,
longer you do that, the better. So I would go at least for 3 weeks with one
yeah,
session to see what's happening, you
right,
know, and then
right.
you can like change content and but keep the core content. We have a lot of with self-worth, so we have a lot also for mental health things in it. There's a lot of stuff there. Also spiritual box,
Oh,
spiritual part in there. Yeah, there's that is like also shamanic journeys and so on. Mhm.
I'll take a look at it and see which one resonates the most, and then I will do it for a period of
Exactly.
time, and I'll let you know. And speaking of spirituality, is hypnotherapy somehow connected to spirituality, or do you have any spiritual views of yourself in life itself?
Oh, I believe everything is spiritual. You know, now everything is somehow spiritual,
Yeah,
and if we do the things with the heart, there is the energy, you
right.
know, and that is for me
Yeah,
the spirituality to feel my energy, to do the things with love, and to be present. Then that is spiritual practice for me, you know,
right.
and I must say I'm very much into science. Yeah,
Yeah,
when it comes to hypnosis,
yeah.
by experience also a lot of things
Mhm.
that I can measure, that I can explain. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and in the past I worked also with past life regressions. Now I'm more working into this regression because
Yeah,
I think that most of the things that happen in life are actually or are programs from this life. Yeah,
mm,
but from time to time I end up in past lives with clients. If we do work with regression, see what is the source, what is the cause behind everything of the
right.
problem, and then yeah, different things can come up. Yeah,
Wow. Yeah,
but the things I experience here and the change that is happening, it's sometimes very magical, you know, and
yeah.
I'm sometimes very astonished as well by the reaction and how different people are experience change.
So seeing everything as spiritual, that's the same philosophy I have. If it is a philosophy or view, it makes life so much more let's say easy to navigate this reality. It's some
Mhm.
in a way it's almost like seeing everything as yourself, or as a mirror, as a reflection of what is within you or have been here. So that's how I kind of navigate all this. When it comes to fear, is that something that when we have going back to hypnotherapy and the subconscious mind, would you say that most of painful experiences and suffering, it comes from fear embedded in the mind subconsciously?
Yes, for sure. Fear is a big factor in our life. On the one hand, it's very important, anxiety and fear to have that, because
Yeah,
otherwise humanity would be dead already. But on the other hand, we're now or at least in our world right now, um, if we're like here in peace for the moment in Germany, for example, where we can say, hey, we are safe. We don't have to be afraid of our life right now. Yeah. So
yeah,
fear programs, of course, causes a lot of stress. And stress is causing 90% of our diseases. If it's not
right.
physical stress,
Mm,
chemical stress, or emotional stress, which is fear actually.
yeah,
And how that influences our body, and how diseases come up, like of course cancer and everything, because they are not some emotions are not processed, for example,
yeah.
or never had a look at, or suppressed, or something. So yeah.
And that's
Mm.
something that I have here actually. You just mentioned unprocessed feelings, right? And emotions can become illnesses. How do we learn to process and accept and, uh, let's say, become more open to our own feelings and emotions? Is that something that also takes practice, or we can get to understand that in the moment in time and then become almost like, again, this felt understanding that illumines and flavors all experiences we have?
Yeah, that is definitely one of my spiritual paths. When you talk
Yeah.
about, we talked about a bit in the pre-talk about spiritual path. So my spiritual path is more that, yeah, sit also with your emotions.
Mm,
Not always trying to make it go away. Like
right.
really, I mean, I
Right.
have a lot of tools where I can
Yeah.
do that. Yeah, but sometimes it's
Yeah.
so important just to learn, okay, no escapism,
Mm,
no social media now, no, where
right.
we get distracted just by,
Yeah.
hey, look at this. So
Yeah.
also with the negative emotion, I really call that negative, because without negative we wouldn't have the positive. Yeah. So
Yes. Yes.
some call it, now it's uncomfortable. No, it's also negative. There's a duality in that. Some feels good, some feels bad, but
Right.
without, one of my spiritual teachers is Thich Nhat Hanh. He said, "No mud, no lotus." And
Mm,
that's true. Without that, we couldn't have the other way. Yeah. But if it's too overwhelming and you can't
yeah.
deal with that, sure, go to a therapist.
Yeah.
That is no question. If you're depressed the whole time, of course you need
Yeah.
help. Yeah, that is no question. But for normal life, also go through difficult times and not escape into
Mm,
alcohol,
mm,
cigarette, whatever that may be, shopping, sex. Is like, okay, how can I stay present also
mm.
in the hard times? Yeah, that
Right.
is that is that is a spiritual practice for sure for everyone.
Yes, it is. Beautifully said, Bernhard. Yes. Being present to what is present, right? Without trying to escape. And we do
Exactly.
understand, as you said, wisely said, sometimes overwhelming. I would say in the case of grief, losing somebody you love without
Yes.
expecting it to happen. So that it's a
Mm.
trauma in itself. So that can be really a powerful, can generate a cascade of feelings. Um,
Mhm.
in this case, what would you suggest? Would somebody who's going through grief, let's say fresh grief, is that a good idea to engage in self hypnosis or to look for a direct session, a one on one session? It's the best way for those people.
Mm, I think hypnotherapy works with grief best if you grieve for some time. Like actual grief needs process, and it needs
Right.
time.
Yeah.
I wouldn't for that process not interfere with. hypnosis from my point. There might be other talk about it. Having empathy be the more
Mm.
the better choice in that moment. No, if
Yeah.
but not go on that grief now, letting go of something. No, it's just happened, and that can take up to 9 months, a year or
Mhm.
something. If
Yeah.
it's longer than a year, yes, let's have a look at that with hypnotherapy. If there's
Yeah.
something that we need to process, did you have the time even to moan and everything?
Right.
Did you give
Right.
yourself the time? Because some people are okay. Someone died and they didn't even cry because they were so busy with organizing everything, and they never had the time to process that at all. So
Right.
and
Right.
then hypnotherapy can help a lot.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. And you just mentioned when you speak of the processing feelings and emotions, a question comes to mind is what does it look like? Does it look different for everyone? This processing of feelings and emotions, or is there a way that we can measure that we are processing feelings and emotions healthily in a healthy way?
Oh, that would be really something if we could measure that and
Yeah,
understand
right.
that
Yeah,
what is
yeah,
happening. But we're so just at the beginning,
mhm,
understanding our brain, and
yeah,
there's so
mm,
many miracles and why things are happening, and biochemistry, and what's inherited and so on. There's
yeah,
so many factors in there, where we still don't know many things.
right.
We're learning more and more, and I'm so curious about
Mhm.
every new study that comes up. Now
Yeah.
with the new studies came out about placebo and nocebo.
Uh,
Super interesting. It
yeah.
just say, hey, this is how it works, and it shows you can see it in the brain how nocebo and placebo works. It's actually doing something in the biochemistry and everything. It's
Uh,
fantastic. So yeah, things are happening, but different, but for sure differently.
so it depends, right? Like you said,
Yeah,
it's life being life, isn't it, Bernhard? Just doing what it does, and the laws of nature, it cannot be controlled, although I think we can observe and we can take notes. Of course, science has done that beautifully. I also, I'm a big fan of spiritual philosophies and spiritual teachings. But it always goes back to me to spirituality. In the end, when there's anything in my life that needs to be addressed, feelings at that level of feelings and emotions of the body, mind, I always go to spirituality. I don't know why, but it has been a calling for me.
hmm
And the way I see it is that what you offer, hypnotherapy, it's just very powerful as a practice because the whole goal of spirituality it's to know what we are. It's to go deeper and deeper into our own selves. So that's why I love hypnotherapy and
yeah.
meditation, of course.
Yeah, it's from that point, it's very spiritual because it
Yes.
connects you so directly, and the process is also so gentle
Yeah.
and natural and beautiful.
Right. Right.
You can reach states, that of course psychedelics can
Ah,
can
yeah.
give you too, but
Yeah.
it can be more it's more controllable in that. Also, okay, psychedelics work with little dosages for sure, you
Yeah.
know but the hypnotic state is a state where a lot is possible. Yeah.
Yes, right. So it's safe from the information that you are giving today, and of so many people that I talk to. I have that feeling too. That's safe. The hypnotherapy is safe, not for everyone, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
People with psychosis and schizophrenia, mental. I think it's mental instability. It's just not having that stability. It's too much confusion. That's what it is, right, Bernhard? Though you can't
Yeah.
go straight to
Yeah.
even meditation. Perhaps would not be helpful in a state of extreme confusion.
Yeah, I've been to a Vipassana seminar, and people get problems who haven't been stable mental. You know, can cause things, of course. No,
Right,
but
right.
generally, if you don't have that, it's quite safe here.
Yeah, it would be much more challenging. And that's also the goal, isn't it, of hypnotherapy, meditation, even the spiritual practice that I engage in. It's clarity. Would you say is to come to that state of clarity of knowing what we are from the perspective of body mind complex, and also what we are, going deeper and deeper into the essence, in the foundation of all this, of what this, which we call life, is. Would you say clarity is the goal, or there's something else?
Yeah, clarity and awareness.
Mm, yeah,
Clarity, awareness about yourself,
yeah,
awareness about your parents, awareness about why things are happening, and through that understanding, but on both levels, consciously and subconsciously. And
yeah,
if these two go together, they're going into the same direction. And then I think
mm,
it's beautiful to be aware on all levels.
yeah.
and
That's
and
it.
that makes it clear. Yeah.
Right, right. For me, the measurement, if there's a way of measuring this, it's always uh, going from kind of moving from fear to love. That has been
Mhm.
my the way I measure it. When I
Oh
am
yeah.
with my husband or with my dog, whatever it is, situation. When something means about to judge, or it's about to have this negative outlook about whatever it is, then that's the awareness you speak of. It's right there, and then it kind of shifts the behavior to something softer. So I don't really engage with the action, in the sense of the thoughts there, trying, resisting whatever it is that's in front of me. But then something else comes in and says, you can act upon this in a more gentle way and kind way, and then everything changes. That has been my measurement. Fear, love.
Super beautiful, super beautiful. I love that. And I also work a lot with self-love.
Yeah.
Also with my practice, I connect a lot to my heart, and that's
Yeah.
a very important thing. Yeah.
Yes. So let's see other questions that I had for you here. Accepting our feelings. You said accepting and processing your feelings with self hypnosis may help you stay in better mental and physical health. So the component, the piece of accepting is very important too. So it's actually accepting part of the processing kind of journey, Bernhard, or accepting is what leads to what? I'm wondering if accepting leads to processing it healthier, or processing it leads you to acceptance.
Yeah, I think it's the processing can leads you to acceptance and embracing it through that. No, because you can
Yeah,
embrace more the experiences you have. You can change memories, embrace it to that, and accept more because you can actually really change memories, past or traumas. And through that, it can heal, and that is the way. Generally, acceptance is the next spiritual path we can talk about
right.
here.
Oh yeah.
Generally, acceptance is something very beautiful, and that can help definitely.
Yes, right. It was my, let's say, my first glimpse of kind of having a more peaceful life. It was acceptance, like about 15
Mhm.
years ago, when I
Mhm.
came to that, the realization of that. Wait a minute, I can accept everything that happened in the past, the traumas and all that, and that changed everything, or perhaps like shaped the whole path to living a more peaceful life. What have you found in your life? Like in my life, I have found this movement, the awareness of moving, shifting fear, transforming fear into love, or shifting. What have you found as a practice, a daily practice, that has made this complex reality much, much more simpler or simple?
Well, I do different things actually. So one thing I do always in between is hot breathing.
Yeah.
breathing into the heart
Yeah.
and go into coherence, heart-brain
Right.
coherence. That is a very effective practice for me. Even as we're stressed out, I take time out and it goes so quickly, so
Right.
quickly. You change your state, you're going to the inside. It's super powerful and super simple. I love that. In the morning, I do actually on my trampoline, I do something I call a flow state hypnosis. You can go into trance also through a regular movement. You don't need only relaxation. I
Right.
know some people know this from runner's high, or if you're dancing, you go also in a
That's
trance.
true.
And
Yeah.
also then you can easily visualize even on a bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just heard a podcast from you about EMDR. It's a left-right movement, and you can process things on the bike if you address the things right. It's fantastic.
Mm.
And in the night, I go to sleep with actually a session of Hypnobox, um, to get these suggestions into the night. So I have a lot of tools that I use for
Right.
myself. Good. That's why I became a hypnotherapist, because I'm absolutely on fire for this tool, and yeah, still working bit by bit, always more on my things, and yeah, sometimes I have to remind me, of course, how great this tool is for myself.
Yeah.
And hey, and yeah, we have so much knowledge, there is everything, but come on, let's
Yeah.
let's let's let let's do it again, and then go back into the daily practice.
So I love the way you really live what you are trying to do for others. It's your life, it's your experience, it's coming from experience. You're still engaging with the hypnotherapy and self-hypnosis, and you know the power of that, how that can help others. You see, I really believe that the vision that one day this will be the way that we can all live in this reality, coming from a place of truth. We know it's true. And then this idea of transactional word of money and all that, it becomes just something that's natural. You are
Mm.
contributing to humanity, and that's what happens. And then people will just pay you for that, because it's you're contributing with your gifts, with your truth. Do you believe that we are now shifting um, collectively from a place of fear to love, where we don't need to make all this money from things that we don't believe in, to make money, I mean, with that beautiful intention to help others?
It's beautiful how you say that. It's so beautiful how you say that, and I would love to have a world like that.
Yeah.
I I still see a lot of fear in this
Mm,
world,
yeah. Yeah.
and I still see a lot of fear from time to time in me as well. That is
Right.
part of the
Oh,
emotion,
yeah.
and it's part of I think part
Yeah.
of the cycle, go from fear back to love,
Mm.
and going back to fear. There's
Yeah. Yeah.
always
The
always
dance.
moving. I don't believe we can completely live without it.
Mm.
That would
Ah,
be not. I don't believe from my experience that this is not um, not really possible. You can just be more aware of that and find back the way into love over and over, and that through practice. Yeah.
right.
Um,
Right.
in the end, the experience brings the change,
Mm,
and that can be through a spiritual experience, that can be through hypnosis or something else, to
right.
realize, wow, there's something more than money, there's something
Right.
more, um, that is important. My mission is more than just to have 1 million on my bank account.
Right.
That is not what makes people in the end really, really happy.
Right.
So the happiness comes through the experience, through the connection with each other, through the interaction with each other.
Right.
That is what brings, in the end, the content.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. Right. This how how we connected with one another in a loving way, right?
Yeah,
Gentle, kind way, with this honesty, right? It's exactly it. You mentioned that that might not be possible to actually experience this reality without fear. And I'm wondering when, I have to agree from the body mind perspective. Yes, because they are grounded. Yeah, the laws of nature, you can't really run from them. We can't escape from them. The body mind complex will never escape from it. So yeah, that would make sense. Fear will always be here, but doesn't have to run the show per se. It doesn't have to drive our lives, right? What we do, our
exactly,
actions.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
So, and know about that and be aware of that and know your triggers and learn. And
yeah.
that's another spiritual path.
Oh, for sure. Yes, right. A daily one for sure.
Daily learning. Yeah.
For sure. Thank you so much, Bernhard, for what you do. So I want to mention again, so the website is hypnobox.com, and I will have the link on this interview profile. Before we end the conversation for today, Bernhard, I want to thank you again for this beautiful intention and the impact of that your work can have in our human lives, because I truly believe that one path that's very and direct per se to healing and spiritual truth is self-knowledge. So the more we go deeper into it, you don't stop there, just keep going deeper, the more we'll uncover that truth that everything is connected, there's no separation here. So thank you again for what you do. It's truly beautiful, and I can hear in your voice the way you speak that's coming from the heart. So thank you.
Thanks so much, Valeria. Yeah.
And before we say goodbye, I do want to ask you this question. Is there anything that you left unsaid for today's conversation? Is one. And the other question is, what is one message you wish everyone to take from this video interview?
Mhm.
If there's one message to take, there are so many.
There's so many
Yeah.
messages, yeah, but if everyone understands that that is so important to make your subconscious an ally, to make your subconscious a friend, that makes so many things easier in your life, and it can go so much quicker than you think. And if you take this inspiration with you, just try hypnosis,
Yeah.
try out self-hypnosis, give it a try, and be open for the things, and then the magic can happen.
Yes, right. I love the idea of being open, right? Trying something. So, is hypnobox.com the best website, best place to go to find more information about you and self hypnosis?
Yeah, the hypnobox.com is like the link to the app in the App
Yeah.
Store and Play Store. There you can find it, but you can find me on the Bernhard minus Tewes.com.
Ah,
That's
wonderful.
like
So, we
the,
have that too.
yeah. Exactly. If you want to have therapy online or even here in Berlin, people come from all over the world here.
Wow.
So always happy to work with you.
Wonderful. Thank you. I'll have those two links under this interview when it's published. Thank you again, and we'll talk soon. Bye for now.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.